Ё-моё. Ну, видимо, тогда не сегодня это будет у меня. Ну, блин, я не знаю, мне читать-то неоткуда тогда. Все он работает. Все работает. Да, все поперло дальше. Угу. Так. На самом деле проблема оказалась очень простой. У меня тупо кончился интернет внезапно. Я за этим очень внимательно слежу, а тут что-то это...
Not yet, but I will learn the truth. Enough of this. It seems I will need to. Why have you come here? Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called golden rule?
Куча вариантов. Жуть-то какая. Только. О, вот, собственно говоря, верные вариации у нас есть. Почти варианты, что это за место. Так.
How so? And be specific. You have made a grave allegation, and I expect you to back it up. He is a volatile and confused fellow, that one. His cruelty does seem to grow greater by the day.
Немного у меня примеров.
You will need to do a lot better than that.
Нужно было перед этим отметить Деция как грех, типа, что я не согласен. Понятно.
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it? I am well aware of the story told by the Greeks and Romans of my so-called abduction. It is entirely unfair. My love was done, and I intervened the only way I could to save her life. What would you have done? It was an act of rebellion against the others. She knew I would have to act to save her, and I did because I loved her. I love her still. Accordingly, I reject your argument. These people were all dead when my servant found them. I gave them a second chance at life. Would you prefer to have simply ceased to exist? Then you still have the option to end your life should you wish, and you are no worse off than if I had not intervened. Accordingly, I reject your argument.
I'm serious.
Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understand this, as did the Greeks before them. But I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind. You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal.
Господи, а гордости-то у тебя сколько?
Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights? Of course not, because that would be absurd, just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals. Where to begin? Our lifespans exceed yours by thousands of years,
И чё?
in which time we accumulate vast wisdom and a mastery of technology you cannot begin to imagine. Because that is the source of our power over you. You could say that. My kin have no superiors. That is true. Go on. Make your point, mortal.
У меня вариантов уже немного.
Let me ponder that for a moment. If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I've been in the wrong.
3000 лет, деда. Просто сидел мужик. У него были свои правила. Он 3000 лет чем-то занимался верным.
How can I accept your argument when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster? Wait, what? What are you saying? You have spoken eloquently, and yet, if
Да, просто развел.
wager is fatally flawed from the beginning, but that would mean Jupiter, Persephon's father, who knew more about you than anyone, proposed a wager I could never win. Why would he do that?
Возможно, он тоже ошибся.
But he is the best and greatest of us. Your words sting me, mortal. But perhaps it is what I deserve. As difficult as this is to admit,
Мне это просто
I suspect
напоминает просто разговор. Это
I cannot deny.
пришел Наруто.
I've been so
Хватит боли.
taking my beloved to Elysium, but every time one of you sinned, it wore away my. In time, I began to despise your kind for making her believe that. But my rage was not born of malice. Quite the opposite. Who knew this empathy of yours, which you celebrate so much? This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let. But know this: if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend. Very well. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest. Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now,
Логично.
are you ready?
Давай.
Farewell, mortal.
Про Зерпина мне что-нибудь хоть скажет хорошего напоследок? Нет? О. Суровый диалог, я вам так скажу. Оу.
hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't... Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Видимо, да.
I don't know, it reads like an earnest account to me. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Первый вариант. Не, еще подумают, что я какой-нибудь долбанутый. Ну, в принципе, да, я и так уже почти долбанутый. Ты что там заколачиваешь? А. Ну что?
You're back.
Харон.
But you're alone. Ah, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become... Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Немного пугаешь с таким взглядом. Ну, давай поговорим.
You can just call me Charon, if you like. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and that you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen. Usually, when people do not remember, most souls would rather not. Ask yourself honestly. A wise decision. All you need to know is that it means I am now bereft. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you
Так нафиг
company.
надо.
After 5,000 years, the... Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferry. Well, those stories contained a long time ago, My master.
А, ну это я уже общался, ага.
It means there is. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid...
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about... You two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest?
Sounds good to me.
And you?
Не, ну хорошо, хорошо. Господи ты, блин.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. After everything you've been through, I thought you... So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there?
You're finally here. Remember me? It's a
What?
crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for... I know! I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're gonna be Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you.
Господи, еще и...
Oh, hello.
Дуля,
Hello. I'm
привет.
Galerius said you're very nice. And the big... I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth. Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my... Bye-bye.
There he is!
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me. So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm fine. Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside, with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we're just so thankful for what you did for... Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here. See...
Hi there.
Юлька, здорово, Юлька.
You're the Oracle? Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got it. And of course, getting... Oh, I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And eventually I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns, did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather... Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being... As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude? Thank you. Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on, even in your timeline. Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met, and last I heard she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic... Nigeria? Well, you are the Oracle. Huh. I feel... You too! If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine. I hope.
Ах, если бы, ах, если бы... О, господи. Грек с солдафоном, что ли, стал? Или кто это? Ты грек вроде. Здорово.
It's nice. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile. I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time. You too.
Hey.
А, Гораций. Ну да, логично. Я его просто не видел без каски.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life and reuniting Sentinel. I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics? Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking. The ones who pioneered our paths. Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. In the words of Epictetus, as those who remind yourself your precious one. Thanks. He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC. So he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You know... And you...
I take it you're the Oracle.
А, это там, это.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina, she knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is... anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and... Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out. He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me. Then I suppose he got his wish. You too.
Нифига себе. Да уж, интересно, он себе будущее выбрал. О, муслитель. Муслитель.
I take it you're the Oracle everybody's talking about. We have. I'm sorry. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 20... And it seems I have your... I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in there. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around. My sincere...
Ладушки, давай, Володь, спокойной ночи. О, Гера! Красавец.
You must be the legendary Oracle.
It is a sin. I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that, I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and some, I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of... You...
Немного мы поговорили. А, Фаби, та самая.
The one we've been... I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew. I'm just so happy to be here with you. Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Karen gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants.
Да. Да, прекрасно.
Thank you.
Хотел бы я так жить. Ведь мне...
Some soiree, isn't it? You must be the oracle. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to... Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Most gracious of you. I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money... In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice. You being the oracle and futures, I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend? Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take...
Все это ложь.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking... Go over. Of course.
Да. Не жалко.
Good evening.
Октавия. А, я тебя помню.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things. But thank you for coming and for saying... I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people. Thank you. I'm living in...
Ой, промахнулся.
Wonderful.
Greetings.
Ливии отлегло.
For your kind words and for liberating us all. I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while. Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth. I'm already up to the 19th century and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found... Men have called me mad. And...
Блин, прикольно этот по скриптум такой. Кайфушный. О, Хабаш.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle. You know my name? Oh, of course. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place. For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the after. Indeed. Thank you.
Видимо, не самая интересная жизнь.
Hello there.
Сантила, здорово.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me. And that... Don't worry. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with... You can try some of our very... Thanks.
so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much
В
about
общем-то, логично. В общем-то, на мой взгляд, очень логично.
I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there.
Я ведь
And
с самого
for helping Rufus
начала...
come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow. I'm studying to be an architect again and living with Rufus in a beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up.
Роттердам,
Of course, it's
это
improved immensely
Роттердам,
since I was there
Роттердам.
last. Gleaming
Голландия же
futuristic
вроде, да?
buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are. You too. If you're ever in the Netherlands,
Нидерланды.
I'd love to show
Господи,
you
Нидерланды.
around. It's the least we could do.
Еще поболтаю.
Nice to meet you.
Красавчик.
I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. For what you did. Sorry, I'm not... I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life.
Ничего, разберешься.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius. I understand I have you to thank. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. Every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty. So we're living each day to the fullest. Sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable. And I thank you. You too.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these... I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention. Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could... I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of... After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this, so I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather as met, so I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power, and so I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used selflessly. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day, and as a veteran soldier he had long since shed his fear of death. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life indefinitely by Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him, and there was little I could do but wait for... We were all fortunate you came along when you did. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him. Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on an... She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day. And you, although it feels... Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember... Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned...
Прикольно, прикольно. Браво, браво.
Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas. I'd be proud.
Не так много, конечно, золотых статуй осталось, но... Концовка 4 из 4. О, типа я самую кайфушную открыл. Блин, это было клево. Это было чертовски клево. Прям супер-пупер. Мне понравилось. Это было действительно классно. Не пожалел. Не пожалел ни одной минуты, потраченной на эту игру. О. Ну, здорово. Здорово. И у меня, ну, как... В основном только музыка приятная. Приятная музыка. Я как-то сильно не вдавался в нее в этот раз. Вот. Но она очень хорошую, да, какой-то вот фон создает. И, в принципе... То есть, не Final Fantasy, конечно, Pixel Remaster, но... Свое удовольствие она доставляет определенное. Прикольно детективная история. Мне нравится, что она не оказалась очень длинной. То есть игра достаточно такая, ну, как камерная, короткая. Там на 6 часов у нас, ну, там почти на 7 получилось, да? 7 и 8 где-то часов. Вот, и мне прям, ну, все нравится, действительно. Прям все. Судя по фотографиям, некоторых персонажей рисовали с разработчиков. А нет, в смысле, с озвучивающих людей. Это актеры озвучания. Блин, толпа народу. Ну да, тут каждого озвучивает свой человек. Озвучка хорошая. То есть актеры молодцы, классно постарались. Характерные ребята. Ладно, что тут особо рассуждать. Это было классно, это было здорово. Даже немножко жаль, что это все закончилось, потому что, ну, это круто. Это реально было прям все круто. Вот. Ну, а на сегодня мы, наверное, закончим. Спасибо вам огромное, ребят, что прошли со мной очередную игру. Еще один плюсик в копилочку пройденных игр. Это nice. Really nice. Вот, что там дальше будет, мы посмотрим дальше. Вот, а на сегодня все. Всем спокойной ночи, всех люблю, всех целую, ребят. Пока.